In Islam Week Defense and Friends Defense updates, we will share with you the news of Israel's attack on Iran and, in response, Iran's missile strikes. The successful testing of long-range anti-ship and land attack cruise missiles from the Akinci drone and their effectiveness. Once again, an emergency landing of India's Apache helicopter in the fields, China's major offer to Indonesia regarding submarines, along with other important international defense news will also be included in this video. So let's start. Friends, yesterday Israel carried out coordinated attacks against Iran, targeting not only Iranian military leadership, but also scientists associated with Iran's nuclear program. In these attacks, along with the martyrdom of Iran's top military leadership, scientists and infrastructure related to the nuclear program have also been damaged. In this coordinated attack by Israel, various targets in Iran were hit using electronic warfare systems, covert operations carried out by intelligence assets on the ground, and most likely with the help of ISR, that is, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance obtained from the United States. Reports indicate that Israel used more than 200 fighter jets in these attacks on Iran. After disabling Iran's air defense and radar network, these jets were successfully deployed to target not only the nuclear facility in Natanz, but also various air bases. In addition, Israel's Air Force struck top Iranian military leadership and scientists associated with Iran's nuclear program during yesterday's strikes. Meanwhile, last night Iran also launched a retaliatory attack, firing around 200 ballistic missiles at various cities in Israel. Some of these were intercepted by Israel with the help of the United States and its allies, while others managed to hit their intended targets. There have been reports that several ballistic missiles from Iran specifically struck targets in the Israeli city of Tel Aviv, including reports that a building belonging to Israel's Ministry of Defense was also targeted. Meanwhile, there are also reports from Iran claiming that an Israeli Air Force fighter aircraft has been shot down, and visuals of the wreckage of an aircraft on the ground have also emerged. However, it has not yet been determined whether the downed aircraft belongs to Iran's own Air Force, or if the wreckage is from one of the fighter jets used by the Israeli Air Force. Friends, just a short while ago, the Turkish company Baykar successfully test-fired the Roketsa-manufactured Covert anti-ship cruise missile and a land attack-capable missile from its Akinci high-altitude long-range drone. According to the press release issued by Baykar, this missile, which has a range of 150 kilometers, was successfully test-fired during the recent test, and during this test, the missile hit its target with accuracy. Friends, for Turkey to test-fire this type of long-range anti-ship and land attack cruise missile from the Akinci drone is another achievement, and in the near future, this capability will be especially important in the context of drone warfare and anti-ship warfare. It will undoubtedly provide Turkish-made drones with the ability to carry out long-range standoff anti-ship and land attack strikes. This missile can target enemy radar installations, naval ships, command centers, and coastal infrastructure at long range. At the same time, integrating and deploying such long-range missiles with unmanned aerial vehicles gives the relevant air force the capability to strike various types of critical enemy assets from standoff range. It should be noted that the Akinci drone could previously also be equipped for long-range standoff strikes with the Concas-1 and Concas-2, which are essentially smart mini-cruise missiles developed by the Baykar company. These missiles can target ground-based objectives at ranges of 140 and 250 kilometers, respectively. However, this is the first time that the drone has successfully test-fired the Jaeger cruise missile, which is used in an anti-ship role. Although this missile has been tested before, this is the first. It is said that it was successfully test-fired at a long range of 150 kilometers. Friends, China has officially offered 3 Type 039 Yuan-class submarines, which are currently in use by the Chinese Navy, to the Indonesian Navy during the Indo-Defense 2025 Defense Exhibition. This offer from China to the Indonesian Navy is basically a short-term solution, considering the availability problems of Indonesia's Type 209 fleet and the long-awaited induction of the Scorpion-class submarines. Previously, these submarines had also been sent for use by the Chinese Navy. The Yuan class has a displacement of 1,850 tons and up to 2,300 tons, and is equipped with 6 533mm tubes capable of launching heavy torpedoes and a series of anti-ship cruise missiles. Indonesia, on its part, ordered Scorpion-class submarines from France in 2024, but their delivery is not expected before 2030. This kind of offer from China to the Indonesian Navy is being considered quite significant, especially since China and Indonesia have previously held talks regarding the acquisition of jet fighters as well. Friends, an American-made Apache helicopter in service with the Indian Air Force was forced to make an emergency landing in a field near a village close to the Pathankot Air Force Station by its pilots just recently. According to Indian media sources, there was no loss of life or property during this emergency landing. This is the second incident within a week where an Apache gunship helicopter of the Indian Air Force has had to make an emergency landing in fields. Just 6 days ago, another Apache helicopter in service with the Indian Air Force had to make an emergency landing in fields due to a technical fault. Friends, this is not the first time an American-made Apache gunship helicopter in service with the Indian Air Force has had to make an emergency landing in fields. Previously, in April 2024, an Apache helicopter of the Indian Air Force had to make an emergency landing in the Rajasthan sector. Similarly, in May 2024, another Apache helicopter faced an emergency landing near the Pathankot area in Punjab due to a technical fault. Indonesia has officially signed contracts for its navy to acquire the Turkish-made Atmika anti-ship cruise missile, along with the associated rocket snack system. This formal deal was signed during the Indo-Defense 2024 exhibition, which is being held from June 11th to June 14th, 2025. Under this agreement, Indonesia becomes the first export customer to use the Turkish-made Atmika anti-ship cruise missile. While in the Turkish Navy, this missile will gradually replace the American-made Harpoon anti-ship cruise missile. Reportedly, the Indonesian Navy plans to use the anti-ship cruise missile on its under-development KCR-70 fast attack boats, which Indonesia ordered from Turkey just a short while ago. The Indonesian Minister of Defense had finalized the contract for these fast attack boats with Safar Shipyard not long ago. The Turkish-made Atmika anti-ship cruise missile has a maximum range of 250 kilometers and is a 750-kilogram missile that can also be used for coastal defense purposes. Turkey has introduced both ground-launched and ship-launched versions of this missile, and the Turkish Navy has also successfully test-fired a submarine-launched version of the Atmika anti-ship cruise missile. Friends, Iraq's Minister of Defense has received a newly built Airbus H225M Caracal medium-lift helicopter from Airbus. The delivery was made by Airbus to Iraq on June 10th, and before this, 2 refurbished helicopters were also handed over by Airbus to Iraq's Ministry of Defense at the beginning of 2025. The Iraqi Army Aviation Command has ordered a total of 14 Caracal medium-lift helicopters from Airbus, including 12 new and 2 refurbished airframes. Previously, the Iraqi Ministry of Defense officially received the 2 refurbished airframes from Airbus on April 30th, 2025. Since then, this is the first newly built helicopter handed over to Iraq's Ministry of Defense. This helicopter falls into the 11-ton twin-engine class and can accommodate a total of 28 personnel. It can be used not only for combat search and rescue, but also for utility purposes. Friends, that was today's defense update. I hope this video has added to your knowledge. See you in the next video. Remember me in your prayers. Allah Hafiz. Long live Pakistan.